back, y'all. In my first video, I talked about the beginnings of the Space Samurai project, my vision of a lost Space Marine chapter forged in the spirit of feudal Japan. Today, I want to take you deeper into the heart of the chapter itself, the Neo Guardians. These are the warriors, the heroes, and the legends who carry the honor of Jimmu and defend Takamagahara against all who threaten it. And as a moment, I'd like to take a bit of time to go over and apologize for any mispronunciations of the words I'm going to try and say due to my dyslexia and a few other learning disabilities. Trying to sound these out, correctly will probably be terrible. So I just wanted to apologize about that up front. We will begin with the Wujin. These are the psychic mystics of the chapter. They're more than librarians. They are the elemental masters. They channel the storms, flames, rivers, and even the very bones of the world into weapons itself. Among them, none are more feared or revered than the head Wujin, Arata no Shinji, master of the element of metal. He can bend the very iron within the enemy's blood and forge it into a weapon. In my novels, Shinji will stand at the very center of the Space Samurai saga, a figure of immense power and terrible burden. Then we'll move to the Cage. These guys are the assassins, the ghosts in the dark. They wield both Melta and Frag Kunai, and the art of silence itself. Where the Wujin bring the storms, the Cage are the unseen shadows, striking without warning. One of their leaders, Kinji, is a key player in the wars to come. Standing on the immovable line are the Odachi Blade Guard, who carry two great swords and fight in the style of the ancient samurai phalanx. Their discipline embodies the creed, strength without skill is weakness. In battle, they are the steel wall upon which enemies break. And then we can move to the Musashi-inspired units. One of the main characters in the book will be a Sendo Musashi. These guys dual-wield katana blades. And now, guiding the spirit of the chapter are the chaplains, the keepers of honor and the last breath, and the apothecaries who preserve the gene seed and tend to the wounded. These warriors are more than healers and priests. They are the very memory of the chapter itself. Among them is one who carries a heavier burden than the others. He's Senjuka Ryusa no Tatsu, the last witness. He is the sole survivor of the kamikaze sons of Sakura's flight, forever haunted by the blossoms who will never return. In my novels, his faith, his grief, and his fury will drive him to stand at the very edge of martyrdom. Now, entombed within sarcophagi of iron are the chapter's dreadnoughts. Among them, none are more revered than the Eternal Guardian, once Jimmu's standard bearer, now walking fortress who carries the banner for 10,000 years. His voice is a relic of the Great Crusade, and in my stories, he will awaken when all hope seems lost. Now, from the skies, we have the sons of Sakura. They are the Sakura bombers. They fall like blossoms in the wind. Their sacrifice is absolute. These guys are kamikaze pilots who embrace death as the highest honor, but their duty hides a darker truth behind their courage. Many of these warriors are the most scarred by overuse of the last breath, bodies broken by the strain, hearts fractured by the psychic storm within. But rather than waste away, they choose the path of the Sakura, offering their final flight as both a weapon and a prayer. They embody the chapter's most solemn mantra: death before dishonor, pain before shame. The sword and I are one. Together we share the same fate. And then on the other unit was going to be the Saber Cat squads. These are feral beasts, armored in ceramite and engineered for war. They strike fast, strike hard, and without mercy. In the novels, they will be unleashed in moments of desperation, and even the impossible must be done. Where I found inspiration for these units, when I was studying Japanese feudal history, is a lot of their the samurai iconography, like on their banners and stuff. They show tigers or lions. They were symbols of great strength and courage. But when you look at it, and I could be wrong, but there were no great cats in Japan as an island. They do study back in their fossil records, though, maybe a smaller version of a tiger, but nothing compared to what their banners symbolized. So I figured it would be, to pay homage to that, the old samurai lineage, it'd be awesome to have a squad or a cavalry unit that mimicked that exact unit. So as you can see by the pictures, it's pretty amazing looking. Now, these are just early glimpses of what, when I imagine the Neo Guardians, the Space Samurai would look like. These guys are just not models on a table. They're characters, warriors, and legends that are going to come alive in my stories. Some of these very faces you've seen today will stand at the heart of the battles against Chaos Necrons and many enemies the Imperium has forgotten. And this is just the beginning. The next step I take, they're going to go deeper into the wars of Takimagahara and the rise of Chapter Master Akira and the shadow of the Jade Empress. The Space Samurai story is only just starting to unfold. I'm showcasing the models to where my Space Samurai came to life. What you're seeing is the gun squad up top, the Nagataka squad, which would be Akira's honor guard, the Saber Tusk squad, the Musashi-inspired squad from Sendo Musashi, the Wujin, though I'm not 100% clear on that. That would be the picture I like, but I might alter it more. This is the Wujin, which would be librarians. That's the Kage squad, which would be your scouts, fast movers, and they're ninja inspired. That's the chaplain, which would be a Senjuka. Those are the Odashi blade guard, which are basically just two-handed great katanas. This is the Dreadnought samurai inspired, Dreadnought. This is one of the earlier patterns of the Space Samurai and Neo Guardians armor. This is Jimu's standard, his flag. This is one of the Sakura Bombers inspired Air Force units. This would be Kinji, one of the leaders of the Cage Squad. This is what a Samurai Tech Marine would look like. This is the Chaplain, which is one of my more favorite units. They're the Senjuka. And this would be Chapter Master Akira. Now this is just the basic artwork of what I came up with in my head to mix the samurai with the Space Marines. These would be the Neo Guardians. This is all the concept artwork that I've made my pieces into. Now the colors themselves, they're not going to be these colors. I'm toying with the color type I'm going to make the entire squad, which that in itself is going to be difficult, but we'll come to a census and get you guys the entire squad painted up. But this is what the overall vision I have of the Neo Guardians, the Space Samurai. As you can see, these are just rough, but this is based on my imagination, what Warhammer 40K would look like if a Primarch landed on a feudal night world that was samurai inspired. Thanks again for y'all taking the time to peruse my video.